Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Well, you know, there are shows that we do on traditional days. It's like we always do War of the Worlds, and we always have our D-Day and our VJ Day specials that we always do. But on Valentine's Day, we always have a Jack Benny program in celebration of his birthday. Jack Benny was born 128 years ago today, and we will and still 39 years old, okay? So we will have a Jack Benny program. His last real show that celebrated his birthday, it was also on his birthday, February 14th, 1954, 68 years ago today. Jack was actually 60 on that day, but the question was he turning 39 or was he turning 40? And I'm sure you got a pretty good idea how that came out. We thank you for joining us on this Monday. February 14th, Valentine's Day. This is the 45th day of the year, and we have 320 days remaining till we get to 2023. Chief Justice John Marshall declared on this date in 1803 that any act of Congress which conflicted with the Constitution was null and void. In New York City on this date in 1849, James Knox Polk became the first president to have his photograph taken. In 1854, Texas was linked by telegraph with the rest of the U.S., the completion of a link between New Orleans and Marshall, Texas. Happy birthday, Oregon. You were admitted as the 33rd state of the Union. We've got listeners up in Oregon, and happy birthday to your state. Alexander Graham Bell applied for a patent for the telephone on this date in 1876, as does Elisha Gray. The first trainload of oranges left Los Angeles via the Transcontinental Railroad in 1886. Voting machines approved by Congress for use in federal elections in 1899. Now, if we could just get some that worked reliably. Department of Commerce and Labor established on this date in 1903. It would later be split into two separate departments, Department of Commerce, Department of Labor. Oh, happy birthday, Arizona. You were admitted as the 48th state of the Union back in 1912. In Groton, Connecticut on this date in 1912, the first diesel-powered submarine was commissioned. In 1918, the first movie featuring Edgar Rice Burroughs' Tarzan character released, Tarzan of the Apes, in 1918. In 1920, the League of Women Voters, founded in Chicago. International Business Machines Corporation, founded in 1924. Of course, they were primarily doing adding machines and the like back then. In 1929, 7 gangster rivals of Al Capone murdered in Chicago. And in 1945, President Roosevelt met with King Ibn Saud of Saudi Arabia aboard the USS Quincy, officially starting the U.S.-Saudi diplomatic relationship. It was on this date in 1962, First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy took viewers on a tour of the White House.
I feel so strongly that the White House should have as fine a collection of American pictures as possible. It's so important, the setting in which the presidency is presented to the world, to foreign visitors, and American people should be proud of it. We had such a great civilization that so many foreigners don't realize it.
The film showed the First Lady on a tour of the House with CBS News correspondent Charles Collingwood. The film toured the first glimpse that the American public had had of the $2 million restoration of the White House that the First Lady had helped direct in her first year of her husband's presidency. The program, viewed by 80 million viewers, globally syndicated to 50 countries, including Russia and China. And you know what? I got to say some bad words about YouTube, because we present a number of things that were voices of the president and of the First Lady and of other people. And some of these crooks claim that they own the rights to the president's speeches and to other people's speeches, and it's just ridiculous. And so we're fighting that all the time. Classic Radio Theater, by the way, is also available on YouTube, and I never mentioned that enough, but it's there as well for those of you who want to enjoy your YouTube sans pictures. Walter Cronkite announced his retirement from the CBS Evening News on this date in 1980. He would be in the anchor chair until March 6th of 1981. Union Carbide agreed to pay $470 million to the Indian government for the damages it caused in the 1984 Bhopal disaster. It took them 5 years to do it. They did that in 1989. On that same date, 1989, Iranian leader Ruhollah Khomeini issued a fatwa encouraging Muslims to kill the author of the Satanic Verses, Salman Rushdie. Rushdie is still with us at the age of 74. Lebanon's former Prime Minister Rafik Hariri is assassinated on this date in 2005, prompting the country to fall into chaos and divisions. Explosives equivalent to around 1,800 kilograms of TNT detonated as his motorcade drove past the St. George Hotel in Beirut.
His murder is an attempt to stifle these efforts to build an independent, sovereign Lebanon free of foreign domination.
Now, the investigation believed to have been linked to the Syrian government, still ongoing 14 years later. YouTube launched on this date in 2005 by a group of college students, eventually becoming the largest video sharing website in the world, a main source for viral videos. And as I mentioned, if you search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, you'll see us there. You can subscribe and, get the shows in your phone that way if you're so inclined. Let's see. And it was on this date in 2018, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in the Miami Metro, one of the deadliest school massacres with 17 fatalities and 15 injuries. You notice one of the deadliest. There were deadlier school massacres. One, and I don't remember exactly where it was, but some nut dynamited the school, and everybody inside was killed. But we don't talk about that. This is the passing of St. Valentine's on this date in 270 or so. Also passing away on this date in history, writer P.G. Wodehouse, Frederick Lowe of Lerner and Lowe, the fine composers. Also John Ehrlichman, singer Buddy Knox, All I Want Is Party Doll, drummer Louis Belson, and pianist-composer George Shearing, all passing away on this date in history. As I mentioned earlier, Jack Benny would have been 128 today. Sports reporter Mel Allen, born on this date as well. Jimmy Hoffa, the labor leader of the Teamsters, and we're assuming he's dead. Nobody's ever found his remains. The Chief from Get Smart, Edward Platt, born on this date. TV host Hugh Downs. Also actor Vic Morrow, the last of the McGuire sisters, Phyllis McGuire. Actress Florence Henderson and Gregory Hines, all born on this date in history. The silent part of the Penn and Teller team, Teller is 74 today. Former wrestler, good heel, and also a trainer now in Ohio Valley Wrestling, Rip Rogers, 68. Actress Meg Tilly, 62. From Shaun of the Dead, Simon Pegg, 52. Wrestler Tommy Dreamer, 51. From Matchbox 20, Rob Thomas is 50. From The Walking Dead, Danai Gurira is 44. And from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The Bates Motel, and The Good Doctor, Freddie Highmore is 30. Those some of the people who celebrate. The 14th day of February is their birthday, and if this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
From 68 years ago, February 14th, 1954, Jack Benny on this Monday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
So you'll notice on this edition of the Jack Benny program from February 14th, 1954, that the lines from Mary Livingston don't sound like Mary. That's because they're not. It's actually Mary and Jack's daughter, Joan, reading the lines. And why? Joan, or I should say Mary Livingston, had horrible stage fright. And as the occasions of more and more television shows came in, Mary just didn't want to do TV. She barely wanted to do radio. And so in this episode, Joan would act as stand-in, and we know she did because you hear at one point in time in this, they refer to Mary as Joni. So you'll know why that comes up. Celebrating Jack Benny's 128th birthday today, going back to February 14th, 1954, 68 years ago, Jack Benny.
Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Rochester, Dennis Day, Bob Crosby, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, today, February 14th, is Valentine's Day. It's also the birthday of the star of our show. So here he is, our own little Valentine, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And, Don, that was very nice of you to remember my birthday. How did you ever think of it?
Well, Jack, a strange thing happened last night. I ate at that Chinese restaurant you recommended.
Uh-huh.
And I broke open one of those rice fortune cakes.
Uh-huh.
And a little paper said, "'Tis better to give than to receive, and Sunday is Jack Benny's birthday."
Well, what did you bring me for a present, Don?
Well, it was too late to go shopping, so I brought you a pocket full of fried rice.
Too late to go shopping. I told you to have lunch there, not dinner. Anyway, Don, I'll take the rice. There's a friend of mine getting married Wednesday.
Jack, you can't throw this rice. It's fried.
So's my friend. It's Remley. Anyway, Don, thanks very much.
Well, anyway, Jack, getting back to your birthday, tell me, how does it feel being a year older?
Don, I don't know. It seems strange to advance another year, but then on the other hand, there's something exciting about reaching 40. Yes, sir. You know?
Jack, you may be 40, but I must say you look much younger.
Well, Don, it's nice of you to say that, but let's face it. My age is beginning to show. A little wrinkle here, a gray hair there. Time marches on. Now, let's get on with the program.
Oh, wait a minute, Jack. Before we get into the show, I have a little surprise for you.
A surprise, Don?
Yeah, the whole audience is going to join in. All right, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Jack Benny. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, everybody. Thanks very much.
Wasn't that nice, Jack?
Yes, very nice, Don. But
what?
Well, I was watching one fellow sitting in the front row, and he didn't sing at all. As a matter of fact, he had a frown on his face. And I'm just curious to know why. Oh, Mister.
Me?
Yeah, would you mind coming up here on the stage for a minute?
Okay.
Now, look, Mr.
Fink. F-I-N-Q-U-E, Fink.
Oh, well, Mr. Fink, I'm just curious to know, you were the only one who didn't sing Happy Birthday to me. Why was that?
Do you sing to me on my birthday?
No, but then how can I? I don't even know when your birthday is.
It's December the 24th, and all you hear people singing is jingle bells, jingle all. Not one word about Fink.
Well, that's too bad. Now, look, Mr. Fink.
F-I-N-Q-U-E.
I know.
That's French.
Yes.
In Paris, it's Finke.
Well, you certainly are. And I don't care what it is. All I want to know is if you've got this chip on your shoulder, why did you come in here in the first place?
Who wanted to come in? I was standing in line for the Amos and Andy show. And some guy come over and he told me they was giving away refrigerators in here.
Giving away refrigerators?
In radio, a program's either got to give you entertainment or a refrigerator. Now, where's my ice box?
You're not getting an ice box, so go sit down.
Okay. 12 programs this week. I still ain't got a stick of furniture.
Keep quiet, please, Mr. Fink. Now, Don, regardless of what just happened, I do appreciate it.
Hello, Don.
Hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you, Mary. It was awfully sweet of you to remember it.
Well, Jack, I must confess that I forgot all about your birthday, but a strange thing happened. Remember at rehearsal yesterday when you said I looked like I was gaining weight?
Yes.
Well, after rehearsal, as I went through the lobby of CBS, I stepped on the scale to weigh myself.
Uh-huh.
And a card came out saying, "You weigh 112 pounds, you're kind to dogs, and tomorrow is Jack Benny's birthday."
No.
Well, I couldn't believe it either, so I put in another penny, and a card came out that said, "Don't stand here all day, you've got shopping to do."
Oh, well, did you do it?
Yes, it'll be delivered to your home.
Oh, good. You know, Mary, it's funny how a person feels on an occasion like this. Gosh, you become 40, and all of a sudden you feel so mature and philosophical.
I know. I read your article in Collier's magazine.
Oh, yes. I wrote that myself. I call it How It Feels to Approach 40.
Say, I saw that issue, Jack. That's the one where they have your picture on the cover holding a big birthday cake.
That's right, Don. And since it came out, I've had so many people calling me to discuss that article.
Well, I wanted to ask you something, too.
How it feels to approach 40?
No, where can I get my hands on a cake like that?
Well, that's just what I expected from a man approaching 50. Around the waist. Believe me. What? Mary, what are we going to say?
Seriously?
What is it, Mary? What are we going to say? What is it, Joni? Or Mary? What are we going to say?
Seriously, Jack, there is something I wanted to ask you.
What is it, Mary?
Well, many years ago you were in vaudeville, weren't you?
Yes.
And many times you were on the same bill with Eddie Cantor.
Yes, I was.
And at that time you and Cantor were the same age, weren't you?
Uh-huh.
Well, Jack, today Eddie Cantor admits that he's over 50. How come you're only 40?
Oh, I don't know. Just lucky, I guess. Anyway, Mary, now that I'm approaching middle age, I'll have to slow down the mad social whirl and cut down my nightlife a little.
Some nightlife. You have a hamburger to drive in, squeeze the waitress's hand, give her a nickel tip, and then run home and dream you're Howard Hughes.
Hey, you're pretty good. Howard Hughes, some joke. Mary, if you were so smart, let me ask you a question. If I was born in 1914, how old would I be today?
Don't answer him, sister. He ain't giving away nothing.
You keep out of this.
Who's that?
Oh, some guy named Fink.
F-I-N-Q-U-E.
I know. Don't pay any attention to him, Mary. There's one in every audience.
By the way, Jack, my mother wanted to send you a birthday card, but she didn't know your address, so she sent it to me.
Oh, your mother, huh? Have you got the card with you?
Yes, I'll read it to you. Congratulations. It's wonderful to... Congratulations. It's wonderful to be 40, Jack. I've been there twice, and I'm coming back.
Say, that's kind of cute.
Yeah, Mama has a wonderful sense of humor.
Yeah. Remember the time she painted an extra toe on your uncle's foot and he thought he had 7?
From February 14th, 1954, Jack Benny on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or if you just have a plan you're not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare. There are hundreds of thousands of members, and they love it. MediShare has a 98% customer satisfaction rating, and this is obviously huge. The typical family saves around $6,000 a year switching to MediShare. Find out more. They're great to talk to. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
You've heard us talk about the luxurious Giza Dream sheets from MyPillow. Well, now they're on sale, 60% off, as low as $39.99. Lots of other overstock items and a free copy of Mike Lindell's book, What Are the Odds from Crack Addict to CEO, with any purchase, but you've got to use my promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com, the Radio Listener Square, use my promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Jack Benny this hour from Sunday, February 14th, 1954. In the newspapers of that Sunday 68 years ago, these were some of the headlines. Russia served notice last night its price for withdrawal of Red troops from Austria is abandonment of the American-backed European defense system. Soviet Foreign Minister Molotov refused to roll back the Iron Curtain from the Danubian Republic, that despite renewed appeals from the three Western powers and Leopold Figi, the Austrian foreign minister. President Eisenhower will ask Congress this week to let more atomic data be passed on to America's allies abroad and to encourage its conversion to peaceful use by private enterprise at home. The president's twofold plan is to make the best use of the U.S.'s top atomic position, described by the White House as a follow-up to the recommendations he sketched briefly in his January message on the State of the Union. Republicans brought Lincoln Day oratory to a climax that mingled friendly gestures toward moderate Democrats with another furious fusillade of charges that the opposition party coddled communism. A policeman pounding his beat in Atlantic City no longer has to stop at a call box and check with headquarters. He's now got a midget radio concealed in the peak of his cap. A tiny receiver the size of a pack of cigarettes and weighs less than 5 ounces, including batteries. An aerial about as long as a billy club sticks up from the front of his hat. Margaret Chase Smith, the Republican from Maine, the only woman senator, yesterday disproved any theory that women are always more wordy than men. The lady lawmaker has the shortest autobiography among 96 senators. In the new edition of Congressional Directory, she published a 17-word account. Longest Senate biography is that of Senator Pat McCarran, the Democrat of Nevada, who used 44 lines to list his record. And a woman customer walking through an Orthopedic Guild rummage sale in Tacoma, Washington, put her hat down for a moment looking for some things, and then it was sold for 50 cents. Those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Sunday, February 14th, 1954. On your radio, Jack Benny, which continues now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You know, your mother does some... Oh, hello, Dennis. You're just in time for your song.
Oh, I'd have been here sooner, but on the way down I had to stop off at our family doctor's office and punch him in the nose.
You punched your doctor in the nose?
He had it coming. My mother told me what he did.
What?
Well, when I was born, for no reason at all, he slapped me.
Dennis.
And my back was turned, too.
Dennis, never mind that silly talk. Let's have your song.
Okay, Mr. Benny, but first, congratulations on your birthday.
Oh, well, it's awfully sweet of you to remember it, kid.
I never would have thought of it if you hadn't given me that ticket to the burlesque show last night.
Never mind, Dennis.
What'd the burlesque show have to do with it?
Well, a girl came out to do a dance, her bubble broke, and a sign fell out saying, Sunday is Jack Benny's birthday.
Dennis.
You must be popular. What applause you got.
All right, all right.
They whistled and everything. Dennis. What a fuss over a man's birthday.
Look, Dennis, you found out it was my birthday. That's all that matters. Now, come on, let's have your song.
Okay. Gee, when I'm 40, I hope I don't look like him.
What did you say?
Sing, Dennis.
You said it. Now, go ahead. Hold it a minute, Dennis. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
Mr. Benny, I'm the head usher here at CBS, and I came in here to tell you that you have 12,000 birthday cards in the lobby.
That many?
Yep, they're not selling. Would you please take them home?
From 68 years ago, February 14th, 1954, Jack Benny on this Valentine's Day Monday edition of Classic Radio Theater here on your favorite radio station. So here's the choice. Some people say the USA is finished. It's evil, a has-been, full of hate and injustice. The U.S. Constitution should be trashed and the Bill of Rights abolished. No free speech, no gun ownership. Competition and free markets are bad. We're all too stupid. For our own good, the government must own everything and know all your secrets.
Other people say that America has created the freest, richest, happiest, most generous society that has ever existed in the world. That's why millions of people are desperate to come here and escape their brutal lives in Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, and 100 other countries.
In America, we have the right to succeed, the right to our own living, the right to have a family, the right to believe in God, the right to have our own ideas, the right to be safe and secure, and the right to be left alone.
Where do you stand? Help us save the Constitution and restore the American dream. Go to SaveMyFreedom.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
Tuesday's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox features Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young from 71 years ago. Orchids for a Lady, a Valentine's Day show. And where did all these orchids come from? That'll be on Tuesday, but now the conclusion of the Jack Benny program from 68 years ago, February 14th, 1954.
Congratulations on your birthday.
Dennis, you congratulated me already. Forget it.
I tried, but I can't get that bubble dancer out of my mind.
Force yourself. Say, Mary.
Well, you know, Mr. Benny, it must be nice to have your birthday come on Valentine's Day.
Yes, kid, but there's only one thing against it.
Yeah?
I mean, so many famous people were born in the month of February. Longfellow, Lincoln, Washington. It makes it hard for me to be outstanding.
I can imagine.
Of course, I don't want you to think for a minute that I'm comparing myself to a man like Washington.
Why not? He wore a wig, too.
Very clever, very clever. Did you make up that joke yourself, Dennis?
Uh-huh.
And you like that type of joke?
Yeah, I thought it was very funny.
Oh, you did? You thought it was funny, huh? Well, excuse me a minute. Hello? Kenny Baker? Come home, all is forgiven. You better watch it, Dennis. Another gag like that, and you'll only have one show. And another thing.
Say, Jack.
Yes, Bob?
Well, look, I didn't want to interrupt anything, but I've got a little present for you from the boys in the band.
Oh, well, this is really too much. To think that the boys in your orchestra would remember my birthday. I mean, with all their other worries and responsibilities.
Well, Remley was the one.
Oh, Remley, huh?
Uh-huh. Funny thing happened. Last night, Frankie was in a bar, and he happened to look up, and he saw a little sign that said, "Tomorrow is Jack Benny's birthday."
Bob, that was written on the ceiling?
No, under the table.
I put it there on purpose. I knew he'd see it.
Anyway, Jack, all the boys chipped in, and they appointed Bagby, the piano player, to go out and buy you a plaque. And they asked me to present it to you. So, Jack, on behalf of the boys in the orchestra, here you are.
Well, that's very nice of them. Gee, it's a fancy plaque, too. Let me read the inscription. To Herman Heffelfinger, champion bowler, Anthracite Miners Tournament. Bob, what's the matter with Bagby? I mean, why would he get me a plaque like that?
Well, you don't have much choice when you deal with a second story man.
Wait, you mean Charlie buys stolen merchandise?
Well, sometimes he buys, sometimes he sells.
I can't understand Bagby. There's so many decent, honest businessmen around. Why does Charlie have to buy from a burglar?
He gives green stamps.
Well, Bob, I'm not accepting a hot plaque.
Yeah, but Jack, if you give it back, the boys will be insulted.
Well, I'm not keeping it.
Bob, I don't like to butt in, but Jack's right about that gift. What's the matter with the boys in the band? Why would they get him a thing like that?
Well, Don, I'm sure that the boys want to do better, but they don't have too much money lately. You know, they've been helping out Sammy.
You mean Sammy the drummer?
Oh, yeah, Jack, he's really down and out. Gosh, he's so broke that he can't even afford a drum to practice on at home.
Gee, that's a shame. I better talk to him.
Oh, not now, Jack. Gee, he brought his 13-year-old son down here today. That's him over there in the wings.
Sammy, the drummer's son? Which one?
The kid on the right, the bald-headed one.
Oh, yes, there is a resemblance. They both have that same reflection. But, Bob, you say the kid's only 13 years old. How can he be completely bald already?
Well, I told you Sammy can't afford a drum to practice on.
Oh, well, I guess I better buy him.
Happy birthday, Mr. Benny.
Huh?
That bubble dancer's driving me nuts.
Dennis, go sit down. It was so nice of the quartet. Come in.
Telegram for Jack Benny.
Oh, here I am, boy. Here. Here, boy, here's a tip for you.
Oh, boy, $1. A whole $1. Thanks, Mr. Benny.
I wonder who could be sending me a telegram right in the middle. Come in.
Excuse me, Mr. Benny.
What do you want now?
I forgot my bicycle.
You didn't forget it. I bought it. Now, goodbye. I hate when a guy makes a deal and then tries to get out of it. Gee, the telegram's from my sister, Florence.
Oh, what did she say?
She says, Dear Jack, I've been listening to your program, and I thought I should send you this wire immediately. You're not 40 years old today. You're actually... Oh, no. No, this can't be. This is awful.
Well, Jack, how old does your sister say you are today?
39. Oh, my goodness, this is embarrassing. But my sister Florence ought to know. I guess instead of being born in 1914, it was 1915.
Well, Mr. Benny, how could you be born in 1915? You told me that in 1918 you were in the Navy.
Well, of course I was in the Navy. You think I'm a slacker?
Well, how old were you then?
3. That's how old I was.
3? How could you?
Don, don't argue with me. They measured me for a uniform and cut off my curls at the same time.
But, Jack, if you were only 3 years old, how could you possibly get in the Navy?
I owned a battleship, and shut up. Anyway, this thing has got me puzzled. I'm going to call Rochester and have him look at my birth certificate. My sister Florence says I'm 39, and I think I'm 40. I got to find out.
Say, Mabel. What is it, Gertrude? Mr. Benny's line is flashing. Yeah, I wonder what Collier's cover girl wants now. I'll plug in and find out. Yes, Mr. Benny. I'll call your house immediately. He wants I should get him Rochester. Well, be nice to him. You know, today's his birthday. It is? How did you find out? Dial Ulrich 8900. Yeah, but how did you... Dial. Okay.
The time is 4:21 and 10 seconds. And today is Jack Benny's birthday. The time is 4:21 and 20 seconds. His shirt size is 15 and a half. The time is...
How do you like that? Imagine Benny having his birthday announced on the telephone. How does he get away with it? He used to be a personal friend of Alexander Graham Bell. See? But with all the advertising, he must be getting a lot of gifts. I can imagine. What did you send him? A beautiful calfskin glove. One glove? Why in the world would you give him only one glove? That's all he needs. He never takes his right hand out of his pocket. Very true. Say, Gertrude, can you give me a lift home tonight? I guess so. What's wrong? I got another flat tire. See, you've been having more trouble with that motorcycle. Yeah.
Operator. Gertrude, get me my home.
I'm trying. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Well, you ought to know. You helped build it.
Well, thank you, Julius Caesar.
Never mind. Now, please ring my home.
Okay, I'm ringing it.
Smart aleck, Gertrude. She takes you out for dinner once. She thinks she owns you. Oh, well.
Mr. Benny's resident star of stage, radio, television, and silent pictures.
Rochester, it's me.
Hello, boys.
What took you so long to answer the phone?
Well, today's your birthday, and I was out in the kitchen finishing your cake.
Oh, you baked a cake for me?
Yeah, and you ought to see it, boss. Across the top in whipped cream, I wrote, Happy Birthday.
Oh, that's nice, Rochester.
By the way, how many P's in happy?
2.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so you'll have to add one.
I gotta take one off. I got 3.
Well, look, you can do that later. Now, Rochester, here's why I called you. I don't know what to do. I thought today was my 40th birthday, but I just got a wire from my sister, and she says I'm 39.
Well, don't argue with her, boss. Grab it.
Roch, I got to be honest with myself. Now, I want you to look at my birth certificate and tell me the date on it.
Your birth certificate?
Yes, do you know where it is?
It's right here on the desk.
What's my birth certificate doing on the desk?
You got it out the other day when you applied for your old age pension.
Oh, I just did that for a gag.
Well, they must be laughing. Your first check came today.
Rochester, stop making things up. Now look at my birth certificate.
I'm looking at it.
Now in the space where it says date of birth, what's there?
A hole.
A hole in the paper?
Yeah, we erased it once too often.
Oh, well, then there's nothing I can do, and I'll have to take my sister's word for it.
I guess so, boss. Your sister must be right.
Yep, I guess I'm 39. Well, goodbye, Rochester.
Goodbye. Oh, say, boss.
What?
Aren't we devils?
You and me?
No, me and your sister.
Yeah, goodbye, Rochester. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not the only one who's celebrating a birthday. Last week, more than 3,300,000 scouts and leaders of the Boy Scouts of America had a candle lighting job on their hands. It was the beginning of Boy Scout Week, and these scouts added the 44th candle to their birthday cake. Candles that, through the years, have lighted boyhood's path to manhood, brightening the way with fun and fellowship, guiding boys to a future of good citizenship. And ladies and gentlemen, today's scouts are tomorrow's citizens. Thank you. Come on, Don. The car's right around the corner. I'll drive you home.
Okay.
You know, Don, that was a pretty good program we just did, but
Hey, Benny!
Huh? Oh, it's you, Mr. Fink.
Yeah. Hey, don't you know some program I can go on and win a refrigerator?
No, I don't. Come on, Don.
Well, I'm going to get a refrigerator even if I have to buy one.
Well, I don't care. Buy one? Get in the car, Mr. Fink. Good night, folks.
February 14th, 1954, Jack Benny on Classic Radio Theater. Please visit my webpage, classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting. Contact me there, classicradio.stream. And if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a show. Our shows are available iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and even YouTube. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Have a great day. Thank this station. Support the advertisers. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.